Keir Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party, finds himself facing intense scrutiny after revelations about questionable decisions in international diplomacy. At the centre of this storm is none other than Nigel Farage, who has re-emerged to highlight the potential fallout from Starmer's recent actions. The situation is further complicated by Donald Trump's return to political dominance.
She congratulated us, it's about us, on our victory,
creating a scenario that threatens to strain UK-US relations. Trump, a pro-British ally. Donald Trump has long been recognised as one of the most pro-British US presidents in recent memory. His administration emphasised the special relationship between the two nations, often favouring policies that bolstered ties with the UK. With Trump now poised for a political comeback, many expected Britain to prepare for a fresh chapter of cooperation with its transatlantic ally. However, Starmer and his team seem to have thrown a spanner in the works. Labour's diplomatic blunders. Starmer's government is under fire for what Farage calls a dangerous game with the Chagos Islands. This British territory, crucial for its strategic location in the Indian Ocean, has long been vital to UK and US defence operations. The Diego Garcia base, located on the islands, serves as a critical hub for military operations, including those carried out during the Gulf Wars. Despite its significance, the Labour government decided to negotiate a deal with Mauritius, effectively transferring sovereignty of the Chagos Islands. Critics, including Farage, argue this move could pave the way for Chinese influence in the region, given Mauritius's close ties with Beijing. Farage didn't mince words, labelling this decision an embarrassing capitulation that jeopardizes decades of diplomatic goodwill with the US.
Not just in American history, I can't think of any parallel, and it says a lot about the sheer resilience.
Diego Garcia, a strategic lifeline. For those unfamiliar with its importance, Diego Garcia is not just a dot on the map. Positioned in the heart of the Indian Ocean, it provides unparalleled logistical advantages for both naval and air forces. The US relies on the base to deploy long-range aircraft, refuel operations, and maintain a strategic presence in the region. Handing control of this area to Mauritius introduces the risk of Chinese military expansion, a concern echoed by Farage and many defence experts. Imagine the Chinese Navy establishing a presence there, Farage warned during a recent discussion. This would shift the balance of power in the Indian Ocean, directly threatening US and UK interests. Labour's quiet deals. Adding fuel to the fire is the manner in which this deal was conducted. Starmer and his Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, reportedly kept Parliament and the opposition in the dark, bypassing standard diplomatic channels. The secrecy surrounding the negotiations has sparked outrage among MPs, who accuse Labour of undermining national sovereignty.
A president who's said awful things during London's lowest moments.
Farage, a vocal critic of the Labour government, lambasted Lammy for his lack of foresight and disregard for UK-US relations. A troubled relationship with Trump compounding the issue is Starmer's previous criticism of Donald Trump. Lammy, in particular, has been vocal in his disdain for the former president, even going so far as to label him a tyrant and a neo-Nazi sympathiser. With Trump now poised to reclaim the White House, such comments may come back to haunt the Labour leadership. Farage, who has maintained a close relationship with Trump, has not held back in pointing out the irony. How do you face a man you've openly insulted and then ask for his cooperation? He quipped. Trump, known for his pragmatic yet unforgiving nature, is unlikely to forget these past slights. The Labour government's missteps could lead to frosty relations with the US under a Trump administration, potentially damaging the UK's standing on the global stage. Labour's tarnished reputation. The Chagos Islands debacle and the strained relationship with Trump have put Starmer and his team on the defensive. Critics argue that Labour's foreign policy decisions are not just short-sighted, but actively harmful to the UK's strategic interests. By alienating one of Britain's closest allies, Starmer risks isolating the UK at a time when strong international partnerships are more crucial than ever. Farage has been particularly vocal about the potential consequences. This isn't just about one bad decision, he stated. It's about a pattern of behaviour that undermines the very foundations of our diplomatic ties. The Republican revival. With Trump's likely return to power, Labour's actions are being scrutinised even more closely.
Everybody, they look at me, there's never been anything like this.
The The former president has already hinted at his willingness to bolster ties with a post-Brexit UK, viewing it as a potential counterbalance to the European Union. However, Starmer's missteps could derail these opportunities. Farage, reflecting on Trump's pro-British stance, remarked, "Trump sees the UK as a key ally, especially in the wake of Brexit, but if Labour continues down this path, they'll squander any goodwill that remains." Starmer's uphill battle. As the fallout continues, Starmer faces mounting pressure to address the growing list of diplomatic controversies. Whether it's repairing relations with the US, ensuring the security of the Chagos Islands, or regaining trust at home, the challenges are immense. For a leader already grappling with criticism over his domestic policies, these international blunders only add to his woes. Farage, never one to shy away from a fight, summed it up succinctly: "This is a government that's out of its depth. They're playing a dangerous game, and the stakes couldn't be higher." Looking ahead, the coming months will be crucial for Starmer and his team. With Trump's political resurgence and the increasing influence of China, the UK must navigate a complex and volatile global landscape. For Labour, the priority must be to rebuild trust with its allies and demonstrate a commitment to safeguarding national interests. Only time will tell whether Starmer can rise to the challenge or if his government will continue to flounder under the weight of its own decisions. One thing is certain: the eyes of the world are watching and the stakes have never been higher.